Welcome to the introductory video to TraceLab. Allow me to explain its purpose, core functionality, and most important user interface elements. In subsequent videos, we will go into more details about how to use all its features and capabilities, but now let's just focus on the basics. So let's start by explaining what this software is about. TraceLab is a software traceability instrument used to facilitate and empower traceability research. The project is funded by the National Science Foundation and is being developed primarily by DePaul University in collaboration with other universities. As its main functionality, TraceLab provides an experimental environment in which researchers, both in industry and academia, can design and execute traceability experiments. To have a better understanding of what an experiment really is, let's just open one. Experiments are represented by a precedence dependency graph of components, which are executed by the TraceLab engine. The engine executes the components in sequence, as defined by the relationship. Bear in mind that this does allow parallel paths to execute simultaneously. It is worth knowing that a component will only execute when all predecessor components have finished. The execution begins at the start nodes and finishes when the end node is reached. During the experiment's execution, the currently running nodes are highlighted in green. The overall progress of the experiment can be tracked in the status bar at the bottom of the TraceLab window. Let's run the experiment we've opened just to see what happens. As we can see after the execution of the experiment, components have a capability of displaying graphic user interfaces. This allows them to present information or provide some form of user interaction. Now, as a final part of this video, let's just go over some of the main elements that make up the TraceLab user interface. On the left-hand side of the screen, we can find the Components library and the Workspace View. The Components library holds all the available components in TraceLab. They are categorized by the different tags set by the component's developers and the current user preferences. Any of those components can be added to the current experiment by simply dragging and dropping them into the experiment area. Of course, new components can be created and added to the library, but we will look at this subject in a different video. Next up, we have the Workspace View, which is a sort of centralized data storage used for the experiment's execution. All data stored in the Workspace View can be accessed by any component involved in the current experiment. Individual items can be viewed by simply double-clicking on them. Finally, on the bottom part of the screen, we can find the Output View. It is responsible for displaying messages concerning the current events in TraceLab. Here, you will find messages coming from TraceLab itself, as well as from the components being executed. The Output View serves as an excellent logging tool, where we can easily scroll through the history of messages. You will also find all error messages being displayed in this component. So this is all from me on the introductory videos. For further details and explanations on other TraceLab features, please refer to our other videos. Thank you.